And so Mayo, with their photographs taken, some of the substitutes moving away now to just leave the 15 lads who will start the action there be photographed. Jimmy Brown from Ballina, the honour of leading the Connacht champions in their quest for glory this afternoon. Noel Durkin there with Greg Maher. And as you'll gather, that huge and highly partisan ovation that the Mayo fans gave their team, something we'll remember. But now, it's the turn of Cork. Dennis Allen at the head of a hungry side, hungry for glory following the reversal at the hands of Meath in the last 2 years. Huge support for Cork. It's good afternoon now to viewers of Channel 4 across Britain. Welcome to the All-Ireland football final between Cork and Mayo. Both teams have just come out onto the field. Cork, who won the Munster Championship in the south for the third year in succession, have lost the last 2 All-Ireland finals, whereas Mayo, the Connacht champions in the west, haven't played in the final for 38 years. Expectations are high for a flowing game of all that's good in Gaelic football, so hope you'll enjoy the final with us as we include in the greeting viewers all over the world. Viewers watching this match this afternoon in the US, in Canada, in Australia, and ZDF TV in Germany as well, taking up our coverage. So let's now take a close-up look at the personalities who make today's news. Starting with Mayo, this is how the Connacht champions line out.
Gabriel was man of the match in the semi-final following another terrific performance. Jimmy is regarded by many Mayo fans as their good luck captain. How can he keep on winning? Strong and resourceful at fullback, he's made an impressive comeback to the Mayo colours. Dermot hopes to emulate the success enjoyed by his father Sean, also a Mayo defender. Strength and great heart are just 2 of the many qualities Micheál possesses. After years of trying, TJ deservedly gets the honour today of playing in the match of the year. Match after match this year, John has turned in a performance of the highest quality. Now plays his club football in Cork, where his teammates include Dave Barry. A player fans love to see, Liam's the gentle giant of Mayo football. Greg joins his brother Sean in the starting 15. He's the one change from the semi-final. One of the great personalities of Connacht football, Willie Joe's got courage and class. Noel is a scorer of quality and almost a permanent fixture in the Mayo number 12 shirt. The side's leading scorer and a forward who's had an excellent season. A full forward of rich experience, Jimmy wants to set the seal in his career now with a winner's medal. The former All-Star is hoping for a bumper day to help bring Sam back west of the Shannon.
So that's the Mayo line-out. Mayo with their missing injured as well, Frank Noon and John Maughan, the 2 who failed to make it this afternoon. Meanwhile, the Cork team up at the other end in front of Hill 16, where their fans are encamped up there. And that's from behind the end of the field there. Our camera up over Hill 16. And having seen the Mayo formation, time to check now on Cork. And here's how they'll start. We'll count down from 1 to 15.
Safe as houses might be the description most Cork fans would apply to John. Niles made a most remarkable recovery from injury which threatened to keep him out of football for a year. At 19, he's one of the youngest fullbacks ever in an All-Ireland final. Very much the character of the side, but it's no joke when you're still seeking your first All-Ireland medal. This solid and assured defender gives little away to opposing forwards. A former team captain, Conor continues to provide leadership at the back. Tony moves out from corner back to left wing, where he's equally at home. The high-flying midfielder whose aerial duel with Liam McHale should be worth watching. Shea's another one of those playing in a 3rd consecutive All-Ireland final for Cork. One of those play-anywhere players, Dave is assigned a right wing berth this afternoon. So often a match winner, but of late Larry's been hampered by a thigh injury. There's a move back into the forwards for Barry, who was man of the match against Dublin. A score poacher of the highest quality, Mayo know all about his prowess. Known to hosts of Cork fans as Dinny, he stands poised now to add Sam to the Munster and League titles. John was Cork's expert penalty taker against Dublin just 4 weeks ago.
That's the scene, and those are the personalities who make the news this afternoon. Cork still missing the influence of Coleman Corrigan, their injured fullback, while the unfortunate John O'Driscoll misses his 2nd successive All-Ireland final, although he's listed, of course, in the 6 official subs. The Cusack stand, the Hogan stand there on the right, the canal end occupied up at the top there of the screen by the Mayo fans. Terrific Mayo support. Both counties very well represented. Capacity crowd of 68,000 as Dennis Allen and Jimmy Brown. Shake hands here with the referee this afternoon, Paddy Collins from Westmeath. Paddy taking charge. Seems to be Jimmy Brown who's won it, and I think they're going to play right to left in the first half. There was a swirling enough little breeze there during part of that minor match. Looking now at Niall Cahalane, told he'd be out of football with a knee injury for a year, but his recovery in just 3 months has baffled medical expertise. And Coleman Corrigan there, his great friend, giving him the word of encouragement. There's Dave Barry, a runner-up in this year's FAI Cup final. He's hoping for a double celebration this weekend, having just reached the ripe old age of 25, or 28 rather, on Friday. Conor Coonahan, one of 7 Corkmen, playing in a 3rd consecutive All-Ireland final, and a 4th if you include last year's drawn match. Very much a natural leader on the field. There's Jimmy Kerrigan, known for his wisecrack good humour, but today the serious business at hand of winning a first All-Ireland medal in what is his 28th championship match. We're looking now at Barry Coffey, rated by many Cork people as their top performer in last month's semi-final win over Dublin. And I'm sure he's delighted to be back in the attack following 2 matches at left half back, Munster final and All-Ireland semi-final. Barry's soaking up the atmosphere, as indeed is Jimmy Brown, enjoying an excellent season. The only little blight so far for Jimmy is that he missed receiving the cup at the end of the Connacht final. He was on his way to hospital at that moment as he was concussed during the end of the match. And the president looked on the head and an issue talked in our toe. From the floor in Ahene, Dr. on the Hayden. Adam and Dr. on Inish. Of the ceremonial, which is a more recent introduction into the All-Ireland final day in hurling and in football. Agus on Ochronish, Ochranahana, the Irin Buyoi the Sap. GAA President John Dowling introducing team captain Jimmy Brown, who'll go through his squad now. Peter Fore there, Dermot Flanagan, Smehall Collins, TJ Kilgallen as well, John Finn next to him, that's Sean Maher, and his midfield partner Liam McHale. Greg Maher there as well, and Willie Joe Patton. Noel Durkin, the introductions, Michael Fitzmaurice, the youngster, Jimmy Berg, and finally Kevin McStay. A proud moment. Michael Greenan, one of the linesmen, Paddy Collins taking charge of his 4th All-Ireland final, and Joe Woods from the Knoll here in Dublin, his linesman. And so it's Dennis Allen's turn now to introduce his colleagues. John Kearns, Niall Cahalane, Stephen O'Brien there, Jimmy Kerrigan too, up as far as Tony Davis. It's Michael Slocum there from the St Finbarr's Club, Teddy McCarthy. That battle at midfield should be really interesting. I wonder what kind of tactics Cork are going to employ in this match. There's been the suggestion, of course, that they might try to bypass Mayo's strength, which is really down the centre with all those tall players, a diamond of tall players. And there's been the suggestion they might opt to try and play the ball down the wings at every opportunity. We'll be waiting to see what happens. So presidential introductions all out of the way, all building up the nerves, of course, as well. And as the seconds now tick down towards 3:30, about 8 minutes away, a little less than that, the team's getting ready to parade behind the magnificent Artane Boys Band in this splendid panoramic scene. Croke Park, a cauldron of noise. The parade, part of the build-up, part of an integral portion indeed of the rich tapestry that makes up All-Ireland final day. The fans giving vent to their emotions, warmly acclaiming both teams as the Cork team on the inside. Mayo here having the outside rail, as it were. TJ Kilgallen, left thigh heavily strapped, you'll notice. A proud moment for the two captains, for Dennis Allen, the evergreen forward, and the Mayo skipper, Jimmy Brown, regarded by many Mayo fans as their good luck captain, because whenever he captains a Mayo team, they invariably win. Both teams laced with players who've done well at underage level, but none of them so far with a senior All-Ireland football medal, although I realise that Teddy McCarthy did bring a hurling medal. So as they parade down in front of the Cusack stand, a proud moment for all these players. And Jimmy McGee, whom we'll be hearing from throughout the match. Jimmy, it's an occasion, I'm sure you'll agree, not to be missed.
Not to be missed. Marvellous occasion. I've seldom seen a better one on All-Ireland Day. Mayo expect to get a lot of ball today. They have 5 natural centre fielders in their lineup. It's what use they make of that ball that may be the issue in the destination of the Sam. Cork are possibly under more pressure than Mayo. They're almost afraid to contemplate losing 3 finals in a row. This is a good Cork team with designs on greatness, but they need an All-Ireland to be thus accepted. Interesting, in the parade, as you may notice, there are 4 players wearing leg strapping. 3 of them are Mayo, and rather 3 of them are Cork: McGrath, Cahalan and Coonahan, with Greg Maher of Mayo. So the question really is, as we watch Niall Cahalan with his knee strap, how fit is Fitcher?
I agree, Niall very much the Iron Man in that Cork defence. Niall, who went to school at St Fatna's School down in Skibbereen along with Tony Davis and John Cleary. Indeed, so many great educational institutions represented in generous measure by past pupils this afternoon. Schools like Colóiste Creasry down there in Turners Cross, Diddy Allen's old school, and St Coleman's in Claremorris, TJ Kilgallen went there, and also the Mahers. So within minutes now of the throw-in. Let's take a final look then at the starting lineups. Cork, to begin with, Cork omitting John O'Driscoll, recalling Niall Cahalan to the full-back line, moving Tony Davis to wing-back, and switching Barry Coffey to left half forward. Mayo also making their one change as they go into the huddle for final words of guidance. One change since the semi-final for them. This is the alteration. Greg Maher winning a place in the first 15. He's at number 10 with his older brother Sean in midfield, alongside the impressive and high fielding Liam McHale. Both sides, as you'll notice, going into a huddle on the far side. Cork wondering whether they can put behind the disappointment of the last 2 years. Mayo players still on this great occasion for them. So many players who make up the drama this afternoon, so many players also who have missed the action. People like Eugene Lavin, the great goalkeeper, loses out his place to Gabriel Irwin. There's John O'Mahony, whose record in 2 years speaks volumes. 2 Connacht champions back-to-back, and an All-Ireland final appearance here. He was their manager of the under-21 team in 1983 when they won an All-Ireland. So as the speculation is put to one side, the fans all around Croke Park turn to face the tricolour high above the Cusack stand. Rivalries momentarily suspended for the singing of our national anthem, Shahanish Aron na Bhíon. For both Mayo and Cork, the moment when dreams finally touch reality. Cork seeking to wipe out the memory of the last 2 years. Mayo showing that the West's awake, hoping to commence a new and glorious era. Paddy Collins in charge of his 4th All-Ireland final. It'll be Mayo right to left in the first half. They'll be aided by something of a breeze, not particularly strong, but a little tricky as it winds its way around, in particular down by the railway goal in front of Hill 16. Paddy Collins waiting for the band, the Artane Boys band, to make its way off. Dennis Allen down at full forward. Shea Fahy waits in midfield. Peter Ford marking Dinny Allen. Teddy McCarthy, will he be on Liam McHale or Sean Maher? The throw-in and the 101st All-Ireland Footballers final is underway. Teddy McCarthy straight away up to Dennis Allen, receives the return, knifes his way through. Good pace, knocks it outside to Barry Coffey, well blocked down by Micheál Collins of Mayo. But good second phase play, however, by John Cleary, alert to the possibilities, to Paul McGrath. Pushed, it seemed, by Dermot Flanagan, and he was near the sideline, and the referee has signalled that it was a push. It's a free into Cork, a push by Dermot Flanagan. It's going to be a very interesting duel. Watch it once again. McGrath was quite near the sideline and pushed. Larry Tompkins, first opportunity to belt this one in. 22 points in his 3 All-Ireland finals so far, including last year's draw, in which he scored 8. Cork are in front. Larry Tompkins giving Cork a 1-point lead. Larry's 18th point of this year's championship. So Cork are 1 point ahead then, and it's Gabriel Irwin with the kick out from the 20-metre line. Sean Maher fumbling but recovering well. Intended for Michael Fitzmaurice, and it's Jimmy Kerrigan who's gone across to mark him. And they switched around, I think, and Niall Cahalane is back marking Kevin McStay as Fitzmaurice does a roaming job, watched all the way by Jimmy Kerrigan. Dennis Allen, the leader of the attack. Mick Slocum's well-directed kick inside, touched on by Barry Coffey, but into open space, and it's Dermot Flanagan seeking to emulate his father, who won All-Ireland medals in 50 and 51, to Willie Joe Padden. An important first ball dropped down, fumbled. It's Michael Slocum, Coonahan recovers. Mayo a little at sea at the moment. Teddy McCarthy, Cork the more experienced side of this level of the championship. Shea Fahy, a hit and hope kick, and it's wide of the target. Fahy with the first wide of the afternoon. Shea has reclaimed his place in midfield following a 6 months tour of duty with the UN in the Lebanon, during which time, of course, he won a Bank of Ireland honour. Good catch again by Teddy McCarthy. In the early moments of the match, dominated by the favourites. Jimmy Brown breaks it down. Liam McHale, possession. Vital for Mayo at this stage, just to settle down the nerves a little bit, get some momentum going. It's Willie Joe Padden. Noel Durkin in a good run, diagonally across left to right, steadying himself, and wide of the target. Mayo carving out the first opening for themselves in this match in the 3rd minute of the game. Well, Durkin, one of the forwards Mayo fans certainly looking to this afternoon. Kearns kick out. Liam McHale fisting it down. Durkin once more. Hopefully hit into space, and Cork reacting quicker. That's Kerrigan. Here's Cahalane. Good shoulder, solidly in from Noel Durkin. Towards Paul McGrath. Fumbled. And a Mayo sideline ball. Dermot Flanagan, directed in towards Willie Joe Padden, being very tightly marked by Conor Coonahan. Padden with possession, one of the great heroes of modern football. But not such a well-directed pass, down towards Michael Fitzmaurice's corner. Jimmy Kerrigan is there too. Stephen O'Brien, the one who gets it away finally. Greg Maher in a chase over there with Shea Fahy. Comes up towards John Cleary, and a push from behind on Cleary, and another free. Free to Cork. John Cleary attempting to gain possession over in front of the Cusack stand. Received a gentle little nudge. Watch it once again as the ball was fed forward from Shea Fahy. And Cleary coming up at the other end. We don't quite see it there. Here's Dermot Flanagan. Jimmy Brown here. Fitzmaurice. Burke is beaten for it by Stephen O'Brien. Kerrigan. Cork building in measured fashion from the back. Dermot Flanagan, good safe catch. Setting up Jimmy Brown, likes to attack. This is Liam McHale. Can he deliver the goods this afternoon? Coonahan, misdirected pass, well read by Coonahan, picked up by Micheál Collins on the Cork 65-metre line. Willie Joe Padden, left-footed across towards Michael Fitzwallace. It sails over his head towards Jimmy Burke, hoping to get a little bit of leeway against the young full-back Sean Maher. Into Greg Maher, his brother. A right-footed shot comes down off the post into the waiting arms of Mick Slocum. Mayo unlucky. Coonahan. Midfield not as congested as one might have been expecting, and it's Sean Maher who wins it. He was jostled around there by Dave Barry. The referee has whistled back the play in any case for a free for Mayo. Sean Maher there from Clare Morris, playing his club football now, as you'll notice, in St Finbar's in Cork. I'm sure they'll be calling him Sean Maher very shortly. Solidly caught under pressure there. Stephen O'Brien swinging it out to Teddy McCarthy and inside to Mick Slocum. Once again, Cork with that careful build-up, and it's Niall Cahalane on a solo run, way up from his right corner forward position. The player they've said wouldn't play for a year. Referee allows him an advantage. Paul McGrath. Here's Tompkins steadying himself. Right-footed, it's curling. It's gone over. Both points of the match credited to Larry Tompkins. That's the first from play. Tompkins playing on the 40 this afternoon, and the fans up there on Hill 16 jubilant just now. Again, the kick out intended for Willie Joe Padden. He gets it, getting there ahead of Conor Coonahan. So vital to Mayo's hopes. This is Jimmy Burke. A low one inside, and Kearns nurses it all the way, as Liam McHale was the last one up there with the forwards. Willie Joe Padden, centre half forward, and one of the most popular of players, affectionately known everywhere simply as Willie Joe. Kearns kick, intended for Barry Coffey, picked up by Tony Davis. Getting the return. Greg Maher back there, putting in a defence. From Dennis Allen to Larry Tompkins. And a third point. Tompkins, Cork scorer of all 3 points so far. And he's starting in very convincing fashion indeed. TJ Kilgallen, his marker, has the left leg strapped, as we noticed in the parade, and I wonder if it's going to hamper his mobility somewhat. Here's Dave Barry, trying to go around John Finn, looking for support, holding it up. A little flick across to John Cleary, getting there, nice sidestep, good turn of the hips, an incisive run, and John Cleary has scored. Cork have opened up a 4-point lead, and there are only 8.5 minutes gone in this All-Ireland football final. Cleary certainly has a spring in his step over there, one notices. There was speculation that well, his position on the team might not be as secure as it seemed earlier on in the season. He certainly is out to prove that he can do a real good job. Mayo still to score then, Liam McHale. Off balance. Linesman has the flag raised over there, that's Joe Woods. Billy Morgan there, the Cork manager in the background. Really is an expert coach with a very sound judgment. Micheál Collins. Willie Joe Padden, superb! Now can they finish? Under pressure. Oh, that's a mighty one from Willie Joe Padden, and Mayo are off the mark. The second fine catch he's made in the match, and it finally produces a score for Mayo. So 4 points to 1. That was a most difficult point to engineer from Willie Joe's point of view. Very much a solo effort. This was the catch, superbly taken down. Now look at the number of players around him, 3, and he still managed to get in a kick and slot it over the crossbar. So with players like Willie Joe Padden now providing the leadership and the bit of inspiration needed in the attack, can Mayo turn around this current position, which sees them 3 points behind? Jimmy Burke. Stephen O'Brien going back, solidly covering. Niall Cahalane taking it right across the face of the goal. Kerrigan to Davis. The dodge and going by Sean Maher. What great pace being shown up towards Dennis Allen. Getting there ahead of Peter Ford. Into Davis once again. He's doing superbly. That was intended for Teddy McCarthy. May come his way just yet, but finally outnumbered. And it's Dermot Flanagan with a good little chip away outside to Greg Maher. Mayo not belting the ball just anywhere, but trying to find their men with good football. This is Jimmy Burke. This is Michael Fitzmaurice. An enterprising move which started right at the back. Fitzmaurice. Oh, it comes down off the post. It's the second time that Mayo has been denied by the upright. Greg Maher initially, and now Michael Fitzmaurice, and it's still 4 points to 1, Jimmy McGee.
Yes, this could be the story of 2 centre-half forwards. Larry Tompkins has kicked 3 marvellous points, and Willie Joe Patton, who caught one great ball and scored a point of it. The 2 centre-half backs may have questions asked about them. One thing I'd be worried about at Mayo, Cahalane on 2 or 3 occasions has been allowed from right full back to solo 50-60 yards without a challenge.
Barry Coffey here, and so far the forwards doing very well on both sides. Dermot Flanagan has put his defence in trouble with a backward sideline ball, and Paul McGrath, his man, with possession. Back to Teddy McCarthy outside the 20-metre line. Dodging inside, and the error is penalised because it comes off the post. But Cork's luck would seem to be in where the upright's concerned. It's gone over. Teddy's first point, Cork's 5th. And that all came from a sideline ball where Dermot Flanagan was attempting to link up with some of his fellow defenders. So the nerves being demonstrated by some of the Mayo lads playing in their first final, remember, and it's a nerve-wracking occasion. 45 metres out, and Paul McGrath is grounded. Larry Tompkins already poised, ready to take the free. Teddy McCarthy takes it instead, across towards Barry Coffey. Coffey fouling his man. And that was Micheál Collins. Again, the quick free taken by Jimmy Brown, with fumble by McHale. TJ Kilgallen. Mayo needing another few scores now, and in particular in defence, one feels that they really need to get the ball out a bit faster and take the pressure off themselves, as clearly committed that foul. Cork didn't go back fast enough, penalised 10 metres, and Jimmy Brown takes it. Here's the other Jimmy, Burke, challenging Niall Cahalane. Cahalane nudged in the back, picks up a head injury as well. Getting a little jittery right now, Niall Cahalane. Not all that terribly comfortable, as you'll gather. Nick Slocum is the one who's going to take the kick. He's the only one of the Cork team, incidentally, playing in his first All-Ireland senior final. All the others played in either last year's final or the previous years. That's McHale, down to Noel Durkin. He's got some leeway. Players in support as well. Still Durkin, free. And a scoreable opportunity for Mayo and for Michael Fitzmaurice. A good run forward by Noel Durkin. The backs were looking on to their men, and nobody ready to put in a challenge. So Michael Fitzmaurice, a young talent whose career has been expertly managed and nurtured through patience and expert guidance. Can this be a second point for Mayo? It certainly is. He's brought free-taking to a fine state-of-the-art. That's his first this afternoon. Mayo fans then up there on the canal end, tightly packed in there. Superb Mayo support here all over Dublin this weekend. John Kearns, 3 points the margin. Most of his kickouts so far, incidentally, have been targeted across towards Barry Coffey's wing, and they're keeping it out of midfield, where of course Liam McHale and Sean Maher might well have held sway. Collins, read by Slocum, they can't pick it up, it's Greg Maher. Mayo trying to settle down a bit now, rid themselves of the nerves. That's Greg Maher inside, and Niall Cahalane is the one who gets there first. Swings it out towards Paul McGrath, playing in the centre right now. Dermot Flanagan has followed. Teddy McCarthy, loose. Up towards Dennis Allen. Peter Ford having difficulty. Paul McGrath. It'll suit a right-footed kicker, but it's dropped short. Irwin picking up the totally unmarked Greg Maher. Greg playing in his second championship match. Jimmy Brown. Again, it's Brown. Good run forward, and there's support from TJ Kilgallen. Again he opts to carry. Chipping it forward to Willie Joe Padden, drifting away to the right. Coonahan follows. Trying to cut inside. Left-footed inside towards Kevin McStay. McStay and Cahalane. Kevin McStay. And yes, a point! A point for Kevin McStay. And that will do his confidence an awful lot of good. It also boosts the prospects for a really good match. The boot went out there. I thought that might well have been a free in. This is McStay. If the referee allowed an advantage there, he did well from Mayo's point of view, as it's back now to 5 points to 3. Kearns into midfield on this occasion. Coonahan towards John Cleary. Jimmy Brown's over there on the 45-metre line, and the referee saw that the ball was touched on the ground. Free into Cork, Jimmy.
Yes, Cork have looked sharper, more cohesive and inventive, and their use of the extra man is splendid. On individual displays, what a performance again by Niall Cahalane. Just back his first big match. And here's a man who's got 3 points. Is he about to afford you?
Larry, one of Cork's newest publicans, on the 45 metres. It's wide of the target, Cork's second wide, so both sides now having 2 wides each. And in the scoring stakes, it's Cork 5 points, Mayo 3. And a check on the time, 18 minutes gone in the first half. Teddy McCarthy overreaching himself, Dave Barry alert. And the referee saw a punch challenge that time from Sean Maher. Quick free taken to Michael Slocum. Certainly the opening 18 minutes has been very enjoyable football, and this is Slocum. Trying to dodge around Sean Maher. Still Slocum, their clubmates as of the last couple of weeks. Barry Coffey, good catch. Trying to find up John Cleary, links up well. Tompkins getting around John Finn's challenge, and it's over the bar. Larry Tompkins has kicked his 4th point. So a wonderful piece of scoring by Larry Tompkins. 3 points the margin, and that's the amount of time there in the top right-hand corner of the screens, the time left in the first half. Greg Maher. Tony Davis over there. The referee didn't like the nature of the challenge. It's going to be a free to Cork.
Got to say this again, the Mayo half forwards and or corner forwards have to come with their immediate opponent, because with Cahalane and Slocum coming forward regularly and Davis on the other side, Cork are having the extra man much too often for Mayo's comfort.
Right now the extra man is Peter Ford. Opportunity to set up this attack right from the back, involving TJ Kilgallen and Jimmy Brown. Jimmy Burke, possession for once for the 33-year-old, laying it outside to Durkin. A forward of real talent, blocked down however by Conor Coonahan. Never looks the paciest of defenders, but he's so effective. Kerrigan, over-ambitious with the hand pass to Stephen O'Brien, and it's Durkin once again, proving one of Mayo's top forwards this afternoon. Peter Ford, and an aimless effort there by Peter Ford, I'm afraid. Well directing his point attempt. Peter, who was runner-up in the Irish light heavyweight boxing championships earlier this year, hoping to prove a winner on this particular occasion. John Kearns, again opting to try and find somebody across on that left wing. This time it's Tony Davis. Kerrigan reading it well, but running into a stern and solid challenge from Liam McHale. Davis goes back, puts in a challenge on McHale as he was trying to make up his mind who to play it to. Stephen O'Brien, Niall Cahalane feeding it forward to the waiting Shea Fahy, 45 metres from his own goal. Up towards Paul McGrath, who hasn't played as a winger at all, but in front of the front two, as it were. Here's John Finn. Jimmy Burke ran into space, read it well, as it was dropping over the head of Michael Fitzmaurice. Can he get the better of Stephen O'Brien? This is Fitzmaurice. The left footer getting it into Kevin McStay. Was he pushed? Yes, but it's outside the large parallelogram, and it's going to be a free from the 13-metre line. McStay was clearly pushed in the back, but about a yard outside the large parallelogram, near to being a penalty. There's the push. Kevin McStay, who's been very frank about his own performance in the championship so far, but that point that he scored earlier on was one of the best scores in the match. Stephen O'Brien there being attended by Paddy Collins, attention being called for, Billy Morgan being called in, and also the team's medical officer, who is Con Murphy.
Looking at Stephen O'Brien there is Conor Cunningham. He is a new man to face now. Mayo have made a significant change. Liam McHale has gone to centre-half forward, and Willie Joe Catton has come to midfield. McHale has been doing his best to play through, but for him it must be a very nervous opening period of the game. Battling through the butterflies, I should think, although he may confirm that himself later on. He's gone to centre-half forward, and his ability on the ball and his vision as a basketball player may be telling from there. Willie Joe's gone midfield, no doubt about his fielding ability. He's directly opposite Shea Fahy. Meantime, back to Michael Fitzmaurice and a chance to bring the game to 6 points to 4.
So will he get his second point? Stephen O'Brien being attended to for that nose injury. He slotted it over Fitzmaurice, and so it is indeed 6 points to 4. Meanwhile, Cork down to 14 men just now. Tony Davis has been brought back at full-back. Stephen O'Brien still being attended to behind the goal, away to our left. The Mayo fans up there on the canal end, hoping that this will be the day their side makes history. John Kearns belting it towards midfield. Willie Joe Patton and Sean Maher. The referee has whistled, and he spotted some pushing there by Willie Joe Patton as he was going up to fetch that one. Great strength and height in that Mayo midfield. Teddy McCarthy quickly onto Dave Barry, trying to get around John Finn, 45 metres out from goal. Holding it up. Flanking it across towards Barry Coffey, who keeps on drifting into a left corner forward position. Coffey still angling for the shot, dropping it short, and again it's Gabriel Irwin. Really hasn't put a foot wrong since coming into the Mayo colours for the match there against Roscommon. McHale, nice ball outside to Jimmy Burke. Mayo looking purposeful. This is Greg Maher. Oh, tripped as he was going through. Wow, that really was a very unfortunate piece of play from Mayo's point of view. They were clearly through. Greg Maher might well have got a goal, and it's interesting to see what action the referee takes against Tony Davis. No booking. So Michael Fitzmaurice, from slightly to the right of the posts, can put just the bare minimum between the teams. He's got 2 so far. Again it sits a left-footed kicker. The Mayo fans saluting another point, and it's now 6 points to 5. Beautifully poised, and 25 minutes gone in the first half, which means we've just got about 10 before the interval. Kearns, who saw his team open up a good 4-5 point gap at one stage, has been now whittled back to just one. John Finn, Larry Tompkins, trying to get the forwards moving again inside. And this is Kevin McStay. This is Mayo's best spell in the match so far. They really feel they can do well, I think, in this game. Michael Fitzmaurice, such a great minor, played here in 85 to Kevin McStay, across towards Jimmy Burke, slack marking, breaks down to Greg Maher, comes off Tony Davis, it goes for the game's first 45. Greg Maher with that stinging shot, might well have thought it was on target, but Davis got in there, came off his leg. A lot of people thought that Greg Maher might well play as an additional midfielder. He was also attached to that Mayo 85 minor team, beat Cork that day. Indeed, that Mayo midfield was interesting. Fitzmaurice was there, so was Greg Maher and John O'Driscoll of Cork. So waiting inside, the two number 9s. Fitzmaurice from 45 metres, bidding to tie up the scores, drops it short. Kearns gathering securely, feeding it to Stephen O'Brien, now back with the action. Niall Cahalane. Here's Slocum. Jimmy Burke back there, putting in a challenge. The Mayo forwards, once they got rid of their nerves, have done well, working tirelessly, aiding their midfield by coming back and getting in front of the Cork forwards, trying to make it difficult for the onrushing Corkmen. Look where Willie Joe Padden is, back around centre half back. Liam McHale getting some leeway. Fitzmaurice really coming into his stride just now. That comes off Conor Coonahan. A really competitive match, full of intensity. This is McStay, that's McHale, and it's the umpires consulted. It's wide. The umpires had a quick consultation about that one. I think initially the smile there on McHale's face. This is it once again. The umpire on the right, it seemed to me, thought initially it was wide, but he had a quick consultation with the other umpire. Yes, it was wide. So Cork still just hanging on by a solitary point. Coffey, an enterprising ball forward towards John Cleary. Cork made the more impressive start, but Mayo have clawed their way back into this fixture, and it's turning out to be an invigorating All-Ireland football final. Coonahan into space to Dennis Allen, towards Paul McGrath, 20 metres out, beating Flanagan to it. It drops down and it's over. The first point of the match for Paul McGrath, edging Cork into a 2-point lead with that amount of time remaining in the first half. Paul McGrath, player who demonstrated his clinical finishing in that game against Dublin. One superb point. Gabriel Irwin's kick out. Not such a well-struck one. Dave Barry picking it up. Good menacing run by Dave Barry. The outside of the boot again, and it curls in, and that's gone over as well. His first point. 4 of the 6 forwards now for Cork have scored in this match. 3 of the Mayo forwards have scored. There's a lot of lovely control about the way that one went over from Dave Barry, and I'm sure the Cork fans really enjoyed seeing it sailing over the crossbar. Shea Fahy struggling against Willie Joe Padden. McHale elusive as always. Another good run by Liam McHale, held up and released to Greg Maher outside there with Tony Davis. Jimmy Burke playing one of the best matches he's played in the championship so far. Micheál Collins, well, a real hit and hope one, but the referee saw a late foul out there. It was against one of the Cork defenders, possibly Conor Coonahan, as Micheál Collins was kicking it. There was some protest from the Cork backs, so it's now a much more favourable kick, and Michael Fitzmaurice will be the one who'll take it in just a moment.
Good refereeing there. The referee, Paddy Collins, waited to see what advantage, if any, would ensue. See would Michael Collins score. He had a go, he didn't, and Collins wisely brought it back and gave the free. Now that is sensible refereeing.
A seesawing match so far. Cork, having raced into a 4-point lead earlier on, pegged back to just one, have opened up a 3-point gap again, and now Mayo, 5 minutes before half-time, can bring it back to 2. That's the position, thanks to the assured kicking of the place ball there by Michael Fitzmaurice. All his 4 points have come from frees. Fitzmaurice and Larry Tompkins, the 2 leading scorers in this final. Once again, John Kearns seeing his options. Again, it's towards that left half forward spot. Barry Coffey beaten on this occasion, and Mayo, I think, have sealed that particular gap. Michael Slocum adding to it there. It's with Kevin McStay. A well-struck left-footed shot by McStay, and again there's just a point difference between the teams. McStay with a second fine point. One of the best championship matches that he's played in so far, an all-star following the 85 season. Then he broke a leg. Meanwhile, it's Jimmy Burke who's down injured, in need of attention on Cork's 45-metre line, and the players are telling the medical people to come across as quick as possible. Frank Davey, the medical officer there of the Mayo team, John O'Mahony there as well to attend to the full forward.
I hope Jimmy recovers and continues in the game, because here's a man today who's making his critics eat their words. He's been an ideal leader of the Mayo attack, very good pivot, taken up very good positions, good work off the ball, and he's made the Cork defence think a lot. Jimmy Burke has obviously shed a bit of weight for this most important day in his football career, and he really has played well. People say that he mightn't have been the star of this forward line. Goodness, today he's, as I say, making them eat their words. But this looks a lot more serious than at first we thought. I hope not, Joe.
Indeed, yes. So Anthony Finnerty is being warmed up, I can tell you, and it may well be that Jimmy Burke will not play any further part in this All-Ireland football final. This is the action once again, and there's Jimmy Burke colliding with Michael Slocum as he was going down, stumbling that time. It was an accident, no question about that. So rather sadly, the stretcher is out, and it's Anthony Finnerty who scored 2 goals and 2 points in this year's championship so far. All his scores coming in the Connacht Championship. He'll be coming in for his 10th championship match for Mayo. So the clock is stopped. It gives us an opportunity to say hello to some people watching this match in so many parts of the world this afternoon. But let's start here in Ireland. Michael Nestor, a Mayo fan, watching it in hospital. Finbar O'Brien, a Cork fan, also in hospital. And we hope that people watching this match in hospitals everywhere are fully enjoying it. And speaking of hospitals, I hope Jimmy Burke isn't destined for somewhere right now, but there's a huge ovation as he makes his way off, and Anthony Finnerty is the one who comes on. So Finnerty comes in and joins the attack. He goes straight in at full forward. So John Kearns playing in his 20th championship match this afternoon. So the referee will add some time on, I'm sure, for that delay. Here's Larry Tompkins. Barry Coffey with a neat pick-up. Mayo with 4 men there, but it's still is a Cork man in possession. Dave Barry, and Dave Barry has got a second point, opening up a 2-point gap once again. Cork 9 points, Mayo 7. But overall, I think fans of both counties, Cork and Mayo, will feel pleased with the first half. Mayo seemed a bundle of nerves earlier on, but they really have justified their place in this final with some good football. Free in the middle of the field for a foul on Shea Fahy. We were mentioning people watching this match, I believe, down in Australia. You too are watching it in Perth. Good afternoon or good morning to you. I've been asked to say hello to Maureen and Peter McAvoy, also down there in Australia. Tompkins, 4 points so far. Kicking into the breeze towards Barry Coffey. Mihal Collins is there too, and John Finn towards Noel Durkin. Body sliding in there, but it's a Mayo man with possession. A very stylish Sean Maher. Noel Durkin towards Kevin McStay, there with Niall Cahalane. It came down from Cahalane to Anthony Finnerty. First touch, miscuing his intentions, however, with Kevin McStay. But TJ Kilgallen, who's played quite a bit of his football at midfielder in the forwards, is up there. Greg Maher breaks it down. Liam McHale trying to get the ball up into his hands, with Shay Fahy and tigerishly taking it out of that ruck of players. And it's all played in a fairly good humour, I think, down there. Tension certainly, but a very sporting contest. Two Mayo players, and the solo wasn't all it might have been, because it allowed Durkin to gain possession, and now it's with Dermot Flanagan. Into the stride of Willie Joe Patton. Saw that his immediate colleague forward was marked, but this is Finnerty. A player who wants to show his pace, prove himself as well. And it comes off Conor Coonahan for another 45. A good piece of defending following a good burst forward by Anthony Finnerty. So Finnerty remains down there. And we're now into injury time, for the injuries to some of the players in the first half, but Jimmy Burke in particular, forced off. So Michael Fitzmaurice with the game well into injury time, a minute and a half on my watch, having elapsed so far. 2 points the difference, 9 points to 7. Cork the leaders. Will he opt to drop it in? He'll realise that there isn't too much time left in the first half. He's gone for a point, and he's got it! A fine kick from Michael Fitzmaurice, his 5th of the match. They've all come from frees, they've all been critical. He's the game's leading scorer, and now it's so delicately poised, very near to half-time. The people who said it was going to be an easy win for Cork, forget all about it. Mayo meant business. Mayo bidding to win the title for the first time in 38 years. It's 16 years since Cork last won it, 1973. Willie Joe Patton back there, but it's Dave Barry getting the break of the ball outside the Mayo 45-metre line. Paul McGrath's in there, ahead of Dermot Flanagan. On his left, and it's over the bar. Lovely style, clinical finishing from Paul McGrath, his second point. Cork opening up a 2-point advantage once more. That kick coming 3 minutes into injury time at the end of the first half. Greg Maher, once again, high fielding. Willie Joe, or Mihal Collins rather. It's Liam McHale. Liam McHale still following up over there, but the ball held up, and it's Slocum who gets the boot to it. A sideline ball to Mayo. Still the referee allowing time for the injury there, in particular to Jimmy Burke. Kerrigan waiting inside, marking Liam McHale as Fitzmaurice takes the sideline kick. Another well-directed one across towards the tall men, and it's Finnerty who gets it. McHale holding it up inside towards Mihal Collins, but really it was a giveaway of possession, and the referee says let's have the ball in any case. The final piece of action at the end of what has been a very good first half. The fans, 68,000 at Croke Park, thoroughly enjoying it. Cork the leaders by 2 points. Half-time score, Cork 10 points, Mayo 8.
Chair Canning referred there to the sporting nature of the game. Gaelic football has needed an open, skillful game. You could nearly have played this one without a referee. Well, almost. I'm very impressed with the performance of Dave Barry, his class manifesting itself in his economy of movement, both as a taker and a maker of scores. Mayo making mockery of their 3-1 starting price. At half-time, just 2 points between them in a good, open, skillful game of Gaelic football.
Yes, indeed, we were wondering what kind of a fist Mayo would make of this year's All-Ireland final. Now we know it's going to be one heck of a second half. You can see it here on RTE after this break. One All-Ireland title has already been decided here at Croke Park this afternoon. That's the minor title. It went north with Derry. They beat Offaly in a score of 3-9 to 1-6. But what about the senior title? Well, that's another issue altogether, because that one is far from decided, as I'm sure my panellists of Mick O'Dwyer and Sean Boylan would agree, Sean.
Far from decided is right, Michael. I tell you, Mayo aren't half putting it up to Cork. And when you think of the couple of balls that came off the upright as well, if they went over the bar, you'd have had a draw match at this stage. Certainly Mayo are putting up a tremendous fight, and they're not in any way intimidated by Cork or by Cork's experience.
Mind you, Mick, for the first 10 minutes, I thought that Mayo were going to be absolutely trundled over in this match, because they really looked kitten nervous.
In the very start of the game there, Cork were really playing great football. Larry Tompkins was outstanding. Then Mayo came right into the game. Jimmy Burke, who I have criticised quite a lot over the season, I can tell you, as a full forward, I think has made me eat my words right through the second half. There for 20 minutes he was really outstanding, and it's hard luck on Mayo that he had to go off on this occasion. He was playing exceptionally well. Now Mayo, as far as I can see, they're winning possession around the middle of the field. I can see them doing reasonably well in the second half, but what's amazing me, when Mayo seem to have the initiative, you know, they seem to be playing well, but Cork can always come back and get a score, just as Mayo get one, you know. Yeah. And I think that's the sign of a team that's going to win, you know. Mayo, they get a score, Cork come back and they get another one. They're keeping their nose in front all the time. It's going to be a very, very, very interesting second half, there's no doubt about it. But I think Cork will just about pip them in the end, Eddie.
OK, Mick, now just a word on Jimmy Burke. In actual fact, what happened to him was he cut his tongue during that first half. I'm sure, though, if Mayo win this All-Ireland, Jimmy will still be able to sing later on tonight. OK, down on the pitch, Johnny Carroll is entertaining the crowd, so let's join that entertainment. Johnny Carroll, a man from the west of Ireland himself, and I think the Mayo people enjoyed that. Well, we saw one poster there, or one banner, which said, "Nothing will stop Willie Joe." And Mick O'Dwyer, Willie Joe Padden, one of the great heroes of the Mayo team, and he certainly responded there in the first half with a great score.
Well, that first point he got there was really out of the textbook. Went up high. Here comes a free ride, you know, and there he goes, straight into the air. Wonderful determination here, and he turns and drives it straight over the bar. A great score, yeah. Typical of Willie Joe Patton, I suppose, you know, the determination which he showed. But I'll tell you one thing about it. That type of determination is showing throughout the Mayo team in the last 15 minutes. And I'll tell you, if they can keep it going, they're going to be very hard to beat. What do you think, Sean?
I would say so, Michael.
Yeah.
They're really taking on the game, starting right back with, you know, Dermot Flanagan back corner back. He's having a tremendous